Hello viewers, in this video I will try to discuss about a Marxist concept that is known as reification and the consciousness of the proletariat. Through this video, uh, it is my attempt to give you an overview about this topic. Whether I will be successful or not, it will depend on your comprehension and your analysis of this video. One more thing I would like to add, and that is do not treat this video as your sole supplement or sole source for your study. Treat this video just uh, as secondary source for your exam preparation or doubt clarification. And please excuse my pronunciation since English is my fifth language. Before English, I speak my own mother tongue, then Assamese, Nepali, then Singpho, then Hindi, then this. Therefore, you will see that some words pronunciation are not comprehensible. So please excuse me for that. Now let's try to understand this topic from the basic. First, I would like to talk about reification. What is reification? First, we will try to know about it, and then we will try to connect it with consciousness of the proletariat. Proletariat means, you all know, proletariat means one who is one who belongs to working class category, like daily wage earner, or you can say labor. So those people are called proletariat. On the other hand, in the Marxist context, bourgeois signifies upper class people. Upper class means those who are affluent, they have money, they have wealth, they have power, societal power, or any kind of other power which they hold in society or in a state or country. If you talk about proletariat, then at the beginning, when the Marxism was flourishing, at the time, proletariat are often considered as proletariats are often considered as peasants, or those who work in the field, those who work for other people, those who do their labor for other people. Farmer, agriculture, daily bread earner, and those who earn very minimal, their income is very low. Those people are called proletariats. I hope now your concept is clear about proletariat and bourgeoisie. Okay. Then we will come back to our core concept, and that is reification. Now, what is reification? Reification, it means treating something abstract. Abstract means which we can't see, which we can't touch. So those things are called abstract. So reification means treating something abstract like an idea or feeling as if it were a real. Okay, something that is quite abstract, that you can't see, that you can't feel, that you can't touch, yet you are acknowledging that thing or that idea, that feeling, that concept as real. Okay, so that can be called as reification. I will elaborate it more after some time. And okay, let's take an instance here. Now, if someone says, we often say this, money is the most important thing in life. People often say it, and more or less, this phrase or this statement is quite true in our today's world, especially in capitalism. And in Marxism, Marxists, they always argue against the features, against the norms of capitalism. They always try to unite the working forces of the world. And they think that through the united agitation of the working people, one can overthrow the capitalist society. Whether it is possible or not, that we don't know, but this is the core concept of Marxism. Not core, but one of the core subjects of Marxism. Now, when we say that money is the most important thing in life, so then we are reifying money by treating it as if it were a tangible object with inherent value rather than recognizing that its value is based on societal agreement. So, whenever we say that money is the most important thing in our life, for our life, that is true. More or less, that is true. In capitalist society, money is the most essential element. Without it, we cannot survive. That is true. But if we say it, if we constantly repeat it, then what will happen? Then we are reifying the money. We are treating it something tangible object which has inherent value. Inherent value means which has importance since inception. Okay, so that thing we can call as inherent value, rather than recognizing that its value is based on societal agreement, right? So we often say money is the most important thing in life, but the feeling behind this statement is that we think money is most important because in our society money has more value. Okay, if there is a society where money has no value, then we cannot do any kind of reification. Okay, so and the concept reification is validating it by saying that money is the most important thing in life, and no societal agreement is done on the basis of money or on the value of money. Since the creation of money, money has its own inherent value, but that is not the truth. Okay, let's say you have 100 rupees, I have 500 rupees, right? If we, as a society, if we recognize that this is 100 rupees, and if you use this 100 rupees, then you will get this amount of thing, or you will get this amount of service, right? But after some time, the whole society has decided that, okay, from now on, this money has no value, then there will be no reification. Got it? Very clear? Then the reification will be vanished. But the capitalist society or the capitalist thinking or the concept, it deliberately uh, pushes the people of capitalist society to think that money is the most important thing in life, and you have no other option but to accept it because it has been so since its inception, and there is no societal control on it. There is no societal control. That thing is called reification. I will try to more. Uh, I will try to simplify after some time. Now let's move on. So, in the context of Marxism, reification is closely related to the concept of alienation, particularly as it applies to the proletariat. The proletariat or the working class is often seen as being alienated under capitalism because their labor is treated as a commodity to be bought and sold rather than as a meaningful expression of their humanity. Reification plays a role in this alienation by turning the societal relations between workers and their labor into something concrete and external to them. Instead of seeing their labor as a meaningful activity that contributes to their well-being and the well-being of society, workers may come to see it as mere commodity, disconnected from their identity and value as individuals. So when we talk about reification in Marxism, then we often see that the working class are often alienated from the product they produce. Let's say 100 workers have produced 1 million 1 million products. Okay, and then when it will be sold, then what will happen? Then the owner may get in Indian rupees 10 crore, right? At the same time, the proletariats or the working class or the labor people, they will not get the same money. Since they will not get the money, then what will happen? Since they are not getting the money, that means they are alienated from the process. Okay, the proletariats are being used, they are being victimized. In other words, they are being used, but their due are not paid, so they are automatically alienated. Got it? Since they are alienated, now they will think they will suffer from false consciousness. Okay, we have no other option. If it do not work, then we will not survive. I have to think about my son, my wife, my family. I have to think about myself. How will I run my household? Those kinds of things will be it will disturb the proletariat. So those things are false consciousness. Why false consciousness? Because those things are brought by capitalism. Capitalist apparatus, capitalist mechanism has brought that thing. It is not brought by the proletariats. It is brought by the capitalist system. Got it? So this is how reification works. Then it says, uh, instead of seeing their labor as a meaningful activity that contributes to their well being and the well being of society, workers may come to see it as a mere commodity, disconnected from their identity and value as individuals. In this way, reification reinforces the alienation of the proletariat under capitalism by reducing their labor to a commodity and obscuring the true nature of their relationship to their work and to society. So, if we think this scenario in other contexts, then we can understand that these all mechanisms are brought by the capitalist system, and they instill this kind of thinking inside our brain, especially the proletariat's brain, so that they will think that these all are inherent. These are not system created by someone or some group. So these are inherent, these are natural, no one can break it, these are not artificial. People will think like that, and in that way it will go on and on. And that's why in capitalist system, the system is going on, and there will, you won't see massive protests or agitation done by the proletariats against the bourgeoisie. Okay, now we will talk, or we will come to our main point, and that is the phenomenon of reification. And this concept was brought by George Lukacs. He was a Hungarian Marxist philosopher, and he has introduced the concept of reification in his work History and Class Consciousness, which was published in 1923. Reification, it refers to the process by which human relations, actions and characteristics are transformed into things or commodities. Okay, so here I would like to add one thing. Here the sentence is saying that reification refers to the process by which human relations, actions and characteristics are transformed into things or commodities. That means the actions performed by the proletariats, or the human relationship they exercise or they experience or they enjoy, these all things are actually commodified by the capitalist apparatus or system without their knowledge. And that's how the capitalist system goes on, or it runs on and on in capitalist society. So everything in capitalist society we can say as a commodity. The labor, those who work for the factories, the company, uh, or the bourgeoisie. So these all things are considered by the capitalist system as commodity. Everything is commodity here. This process occurs when social relations between people are mediated by commodities, leading to the perception that these commodities have inherent value or existence independent of the social relations that produce them. Lucas argues that reification is a central feature of capitalism. So, reification, it is a central element of capitalism. To survive the capitalism, it must be available, where commodities are produced for exchange rather than for use, and where social relations take on the form of relations between things. This process extends to the way people see themselves and their social roles. In capitalist societies, individuals are often alienated from their own labor and from each other, leading to a sense of isolation and powerlessness. For the proletariat or the working class, reification results in a form of false consciousness, where they are unable to see the true nature of their exploitation and their potential role in transforming society. So here I will mention one thing. I have already mentioned about it earlier, that all the proletariat people, they are under the influence of false consciousness. I have also given one example, that let's say I am working and I have been given salary, and I think that due to my work, due to my uh, economical crisis or economical circumstances, I have no other option but to work, and and this is how things work. This is how I will live on in this world. I will not think that this system must be abolished. This system must be eradicated by us. Why? Because if I do that, then how will I survive? I cannot survive. Since I cannot survive, I will live in the false consciousness. And if I live in the false consciousness, then I will not see that I have been exploited. I have been mentally harassed. I have been physically victimized. I won't think about that, because if I think about that, then I can't agitate. I can't revolt. And that thing is that thing is argued by Marxist philosophers, that the workers or the proletariats, they must comprehend that they are under the influence of false consciousness or reification, that and it must be deleted or removed. The proletariat is alienated from the products of their labor, which are owned and controlled by the capitalist class. The alienation extends to their consciousness as they come to accept the reified social relations of capitalism as natural and unchangeable. However, Lukacs argues that the proletariat has the potential to develop true class consciousness and overcome reification. But according to the author Lukacs, okay, he has debated, he has opined that proletariat has that potential, they have that energy and power to develop true class consciousness. Class consciousness means to know about the exploitative nature of capitalist mechanism, okay, and how it is affecting their life one generation after another. It just goes on and on. And if they achieve this true class consciousness, then they will overcome reification. Otherwise, it will never end. It will continue. By recognizing the reifying effects of capitalism and understanding their role as the revolutionary class, the proletariat can transform their consciousness and take action to overthrow capitalism. So he is saying, Lukacs is saying that if the proletariat class, if they accept or if they identify the reifying effects of capitalism, then they will also understand that they have that capability to do revolution, and they are also a revolutionary class or revolutionary society or community, and they can transform their consciousness and take action to overthrow capitalism. But unfortunately, according to him and in general also, the proletariats, they are not aware of it, and if one person will do, then nothing will happen. One, two, three, if they come up, then nothing will happen. Whole world's proletariats must be united for this, and that is what mentioned in the Communist Manifesto, which was written by two person, Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, right? If I'm not wrong. And this process involves a critical understanding of the social relations that shape their lives and recognition of their collective power to change those relations through revolutionary struggle. Now let's try to find out what George Lucas has said in the essay Reification and the Consciousness of the Proletariats. Number one, reification. Lukacs has argued that in capitalist societies, social relations between people are mediated by commodities, leading to the perception that these commodities have inherent value or existence independent of the social relations that produce them. This process of reification extends to the way people see themselves and their social roles, leading to a distorted understanding of reality. So here, I would like to give you an example. So let's say you are working in a multinational company and you are also a CEO, right? People are respecting you. People are showing their respect for you, their love and care for you, and they are showing, if they're showing showering their love and affection and respect merely for your CEO status, then that will be a part of reification, because they have not seen your kindness, they have not seen your good nature, your honesty, your empathy, sympathy. They have not seen it. And they don't care about it. They are respecting you on behalf of your job title. And that is a social system stem from capitalist mechanism. And that is also a part of reification. Clear? And in capitalist society, these social roles are created to keep the system running. Otherwise, the system will collapse. So since people are identifying themselves with some social relations, that okay, I'm supervisor, I'm manager, I'm executive, I'm something, then what will happen? That mechanism will not end. That will go on and on. And if that will go on and on, then capitalism will also embolden. It will not decline, or it will not suffer. That is how social relations are manufactured in the capitalism. And that thing is uh, criticized by Marxism. Okay, I'm trying my best to teach you whatever I can. And in that way, what will happen? You will not confront the reality. You will confront, but that will be a distorted understanding of reality. In that way, what will happen? People are commodified. You are commodified. You are just a product of capitalism. You are nothing else than just a product. Because your inherent value are lost. And those inherent values are replaced by your job designation, job status, and other features produced by capitalism. That's it. Now let's move on to our other argument, and that is false consciousness. The concept of false consciousness refers to the proletariat's acceptance of the reified social relations of capitalism as natural and unchangeable. This false consciousness prevents the proletariat from recognizing their exploitation and understanding their potential role in transforming society. So through this false consciousness argument, the Marxist philosophers, they attempt to argue that all proletariat classes or all working class people, they are lost in the false consciousness realm. And if they are lost in this realm, then what will happen? They will blindly accept it, believe it, and they will also regard it as something quite necessary to run this world, to run their life. And then they will think this is natural. We cannot break it. No one can break it. And if they think like that, then what will happen? Then that false consciousness will prevent them. It will prevent them from recognizing what they are lacking, what they are lagging behind, how they are manipulated, exploited. So these all things will be lost. And if those things are lost, then what will happen? Society will remain stagnant. It won't uh, transform to another level where equality will reign, right? Otherwise, inequality and discrimination, these all things will be available in our society. Moving on to third argument, and that is alienation. George Lucas emphasizes the alienating effects of capitalism on the proletariat, who are alienated from the products of their labor, from each other, and from their own human potential. This alienation is a result of the reification of social relations under capitalism. So under capitalism, social relations are engineered in such a way, okay, those relationships are engineered in such a way, or those things are manufactured in such a way, the labor or the proletariat people, they think that okay, this is what our job is, this is what we have done, that's all. We don't have to think about other thing, like should we get what the owner has got, at least 50%, if not 100%, at least 20%, if not all. So that kind of things are gone from their mind, because they are working it day and night, and they are exhausted, they are tired due to their work, physically, mentally. So they are alienated. Oh, we are done. Since we are done, then what we will do? Since we are done, then we cannot think about whether we should get profit or not, whether our conditions should improve or not. That all kind of thing will cease to exist for them. So they will alienate. And this alienation is a consequence of the reification of social relations under capitalism. This is how things work in capitalism. Next thing is class consciousness. Despite the effects of reification and false consciousness, Lukacs believes that the proletariat has the potential to develop true class consciousness. So, according to our author or philosopher, Lukacs, he has emphasized that despite all this, one can overthrow false consciousness by reinstating the class consciousness concept. Lukacs believes that the proletariat has the potential to develop true class consciousness. This involves recognizing the refining effects of capitalism, understanding their role as the revolutionary class, and taking action to overthrow capitalism. This can be achieved, according to him. Next is revolutionary potential. So, all Marxist philosophers, they often argue about this, that the working class or the proletariat, they have that power, they have that energy to end the rule of bourgeois class. Okay, so he has emphasized on revolutionary potential. Lukacs argues that the proletariat, by overcoming false consciousness and developing class consciousness, one can become the revolutionary subject capable of transforming society. This transformation, it involves a critical understanding of the social relations that shape their lives and a collective effort to change those relations through revolutionary struggle. And for that, each proletariat must have revolutionary struggle mindset or philosophy, which is hard to be found. Why? I have just got a job and I am earning 10,000 per day. Huh? I am not per day, per month. Okay. And if I revolt, then I will be thrown out. I will be sacked. I will be fired from that employer or that company or that workplace. Then where will I go? So I cannot do it. If I do it, then I will suffer. It is the mechanism of capitalism. I cannot, if I come out that, okay, I will fight against this system, then the system itself will stop me. Because all the systems, like if I talk about defense, social system, security system, all systems are under the influence of capitalism. No one can support me if I do so. And various capitalist thoughts, ideas, concepts are governed through various stages, various apparatus of society. School, colleges, church, religious places. These all are also a part of capitalism. You must have heard about Althusser's ISA and RSA. ISA was, I have forgotten. RSA was repressive state apparatus. Means through repression, the capitalist system will work. Like police, army, security guard, right? So they will exert force, physical force. And they will try to show that if you do this, then you will go to jail. This is the law. This is how it works. And on the other hand, there is an ISA. ISA means ideological state apparatus. Through ideology, they will try to prevent you from digressing from the current scenario. Ideology, let's say, okay, if this is your religion, you cannot do this. If you do this, then it will be a crime. It will be a sin. That kind of thing will be taught through church, religious schools, like that. Okay, now let's come back to our point. Overall, okay, let me read it from the beginning. Lukacs argues that the proletariat, by overcoming false consciousness and developing class consciousness, can become the revolutionary subject capable of transforming society. This transformation involves a critical understanding of the social relations that shape their lives and collective effort to change those relations through revolutionary struggle. Overall, Lukacs' main argument is that reification and false consciousness are central features of capitalism that alienate the proletariat from their own labor and from each other. However, he believes that through a process of critical reflection and revolutionary action, the proletariat can overcome those obstacles and bring about a socialist society. But if they work together, if they're united, if they realize, then this thing will be finished. And in that way, one can create a socialist society where equality will reign. So in Marxist philosophy, reification or making into a thing. So in German, it is very hard to pronounce. I will try. Barding Lichung, sorry for it, it is the process through which human social relations are perceived as inherent attributes of the people involved in them or as attributes of some product of the relation, such as commodity being traded. As an economic practice, reification transforms object into subjects and subjects into objects. This leads to a situation where subjects, people, are rendered passive with a determined identity, while objects, commodities, are seen as the active factor that determines the nature of a social relation. Similarly, the term hypostatization describes an effect of reification that results from presuming the existence of any object that can be named and presuming the existence of an abstractly conceived object. This is considered a fallacy of reification in both ontological related to existence and epistemological related to knowledge interpretation. Moving on, now reification is related to but distinct from Marx's theories of alienation and commodity fetishism. Alienation refers to the general condition of human estrangement, while reification is a specific form of alienation. Commodity fetishism, on the other hand, is a specific form of reification where commodities are attributed with special power and significance beyond their material properties. And reification and consciousness of the proletariat, this essay means this is a chapter by Gyorgy Lukacs. It is important for several reasons. So here I will talk the significance of it, why it is necessary. So number one, it critiques the capitalism system or the capitalist system or mechanism. The concept of reification, it offers a critical analysis of capitalist society, highlighting how the capitalist mode of production distorts human relationships and it leads to alienation. This critique is foundational to understanding the social and psychological effects of capitalism, how capitalism work on social and psychological level. Second is class consciousness. Lukacs' work contributes to Marxist theory by exploring how the proletariat's consciousness is shaped by the refined effects of capitalism. It emphasizes the importance of the proletariat developing a class consciousness to recognize their exploitation and potential for revolutionary action. And then philosophical development, though this is not significant, but yet still. So the concept of reification represents a significant development in Marxist philosophy, expanding on Marxist ideas of alienation and commodity fetishism. It provides a framework for understanding how social relations under capitalism are transformed into objective reified forms. If you talk about political implications, then the idea of reification has potential implications, as it suggests that the proletariat struggle is not just economic but also ideological. It underscores the importance of challenging dominant ideologies and developing a critical awareness of capitalist social relations. Then legacy and influence. Reification and consciousness of the proletariat, it has had a lasting impact on Marxist thought and critical theory. It continues to be studied and debated in academic and political circles, influencing discussions on capitalism, alienation, and class consciousness. Now we will talk why it is indispensable. It is important because it criticizes capitalism for distorting human relationship and causing alienation. It explains how the working classes' awareness or lack thereof of their exploitation is influenced by capitalist society's refined effects. This concept expands on Marx's ideas and emphasizes the need for the working class to develop a clear understanding of their situation to bring about change. The work has had a lasting impact on Marxist theory, influencing discussions on capitalism and class struggle. It is possible for the working class to not develop a clear understanding of their situation or be made unable to mobilize for change. There are several factors that can contribute to this. So now we will talk how this thing is not accepted by the proletariats. Ideological hegemony. The dominant ideologies, you must have heard that dominant, residual, and emergent. So that concept is very famous, and that is also an element of Marxism. So in any society, in any system, you will see that there are always three elements. Number one is what? Dominant. One ideology will always be dominant. Okay. Then dominant. Then you will see another ideology that is not dominant and that is not lost also. Some elements are still available in our society. So that will be residual, and then there will be emergent. Dominant is there, residual is also there, but now new thinking or new ideology is coming up. It has not come up completely, but it has been trying to penetrate in our society or in our world. Dominant, residual, and emergent. Okay, just like that, the dominant ideologies in society that often propagated by the ruling class. And they can shape the beliefs and consciousness of the working class, and this can lead to a false consciousness where the working class accept the status quo as natural or inevitable. The capitalist system will try to project that this is how things are, this is how the world runs. Okay, so they will put a particular ideology in such a way people are brainwashed. They cannot think about other things, and they think, okay, this is natural, this is inevitable, this is our luck. They will think like that. So this is called ideological hegemony. If ideology is persistently forcing you to think like this, then what you will think? You cannot think unique thing or other thing. You are bound to accept that thing. So through ideological hegemony, the bourgeois class, they try to instill in the mind of proletariats that this is your fate, this is the mechanism, you cannot run from it. Then material condition, materialism, you must have heard. Economic factors such as precarious employment, poverty, and lack of access to education can limit the ability of the working class to organize and mobilize for change. These conditions can also contribute to a sense of resignation or apathy. So if your economic condition is downgraded, it is very poor, then how you can fight? If you are not educated, then you cannot fight, you cannot raise a voice, you know nothing about the system, about anything, then how can you fight the system? So in that way, your material condition will limit you against this subjugation. Next is repression and control. The capitalist system is such a system which cannot let you think about revolt. The ruling class may use repression and control mechanism such as surveillance, censorship, violence to suppress dissent and prevent the working class from organizing effectively. It will happen. They may grab your mobile phone. I'm just giving you an example that they may take your mobile phone. They may give you that threat. They may give you various kinds of threat that if you do this, then you will be killed. Then how that proletariat people will think about going against this prevalent system? Then fragmentation and division. Okay, like Britishers, they have done it very well. That divide and rule. Let's say, okay, that there is a company XYZ, and in that company, 2,000 people are working, and there is a one organization, and that organization is for proletariats. And in that organization, not all can become leader. 5% will become leader. 5%, let's say. Then if the ruling class think that, okay, I will give money to this 5% and they will not do any kind of agitation, they may become successful by it, right? So that is called fragmentation and division. And through that also they are running this thing. I think I have talked numerous things related to it. I will try to give you more understanding, but I think most of the things are talked. Okay, now let's try to talk about this, that capitalism as an economic and social system, it tends to refine social relations for which reasons, which underlying reasons. Number one is saying commodification. In capitalist societies, many aspects of life, including labor, goods, and services, are commodified. And this means that they are treated as products to be bought and sold, to be purchased and sold, leading to the reification of social interaction and relationship. And second is profit motive. Capitalism is driven by the pursuit of profit. We all know without profit, capitalism will not exist. This focus on economic gain can lead to the instrumentalization of social relations, where relationships are valued based on their potential to generate profit or economic benefit. Third is individualism. Capitalism often emphasizes individual success and competition over collective well-being. That is true. This can lead to the reification of individual identities and relationships, as people are encouraged to prioritize their own interest over those of others. So since all people are thinking about themselves, then how people will be united? Then market logic. The logic of the market, which values efficiency and utility, can influence how social interactions are perceived and valued. This can lead to the reification of social relations, as they are evaluated based on their perceived usefulness or utility. Then alienation. This we have already talked. So that's all. I hope I have actually I have given my best to give you an insight related to reification and consciousness of the proletariat in the context of Marxism. Thank you so much. Bye bye.